This is greeting the day. This was a gift from our ancestors here, actually up in Farther Point up there when I was doing my water cleansing and got out. This is the song that was gifted to me. One of the third ones. Haida Gwaii, ala he he.
The whole concept of sovereignty, it's not something that is given to us, right? It's something that we have. Most of us, growing up here, we all understand this is Haida land, and there was never a point where it wasn't. But over the years, Canada was able to put the pressure on and sort of assert more and more control over our people. When we were little kids, we were fishing at the river, and what we were doing is we were snagging the pinks that the sports fishermen were catching up above us, and they're just throwing them back in, so they're sort of floating belly up. Then we look and we see a fisheries officer, and he's sneaking through the river or sneaking through the forest, and comes out and arrests my dad, and we no license and all that, and so they said, well, you can get a license. And of course, my dad said, no, I'm not going to get a license from you guys. So they end up taking the fish, and I think that sort of harassment has happened right from the beginning. Because there were so few Haidas left, it was hard to sort of fight back against that. The fact that our people continued to fish, continued to hunt, continued to go to the rivers, clam dig, and so those are just everyday actions, and they are political, but they're not political by design. They're just people living, and it's important that we don't lose that knowledge that we had, and are able to survive if the ferries don't come in. If we're waiting on government to say, oh, you have a little bit of more say on this or that, then, that's not really sovereignty. We got to be able to see where we have the abilities to push our own limits to enact these things, right? And that is through education and through energy use and food sovereignty. If we're dependent on diesel coming to our energy plants, that's something that they have over us. If they want to shut us down, or if they could use that as a threat, then that sort of keeps us tied into their system. But if we could build to a spot where we had control and we had renewable energies happening on the island, then that's control of our own lifestyle. In a few times where we've been battling in courts, having the other communities sort of step forward and say that they support the Haidas has gone a long way, because the Crown wanted to show that there's division and it's Haida versus white or whatever, and when they couldn't do that, it sort of crumbled for them, right? There's a lot of benefits for keeping good relationships on both sides. Where we stand today, we have a lot more control of our island than we did 50 years ago. As long as we keep moving forward and keep pushing our agenda, then we can make this place into a pretty good place to live.